Hi everyone, this is Penguin Trades and this is a review for the ES and NQ futures for September 23rd. So starting off with the ES here and then we'll hop over to the NQ after. So this is our overnight high, this is our overnight low, these are our key levels for the day. I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here. And so right at the beginning we have this nice spike up, a break. Now when an uptrend gets a break, you can expect price to attempt a new high. And so we start that first attempt higher here. However, very quickly, price immediately pushes back lower here. It's, kind of chops around a little bit at this previous low and then quickly breaks that low. And so once it breaks this low here, this becomes a two-legged break. And so first leg down, break, and then your second leg down. This whole, even though you have these two legs here, this is still one leg on a bigger picture. You have to use these measured moves to really understand larger legs because the market moves in pairs of twos. And so within this two-legged move down here, what you have is a downtrend. So this is a downtrend, a break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. So we know that when price has a break, just like we can expect price to make a new high for this uptrend, you can expect price to make a new low for this downtrend. And price generally attempts to do anything in pairs of twos. That's how second entries form. So after this downtrend has a break, we have our first attempt lower, second attempt lower, and then it's made the new low. Then it fades back up with this range right here to make a new high for this uptrend. So as we push higher here, this is a good place to look for a long. At first, we don't get a clear entry, but what we have here is uptrend, two-legged break, perfect measured move reaction, immediately fading back into this range here. Now, as we push up, we don't get any entry at first. We have this trend line working down. It's just really an iffy area here. But then here, after we spike up, it's a little bit hard to see on this first leg here, but we have these two legs down. First leg, break, second leg, measured move is perfectly met. It's not met to the tick like this one, but the body's closed right on it, which is basically a perfect measured move. Good reaction to that this level right here, this range low, pushing back above the EMA. This is a great looking long right here. So again, this is basically just a big picture higher low. So uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. So that's what this trade is here. It's to make a new high for this uptrend using this range low as support. Now we push on up here, we reach the high, and as soon as we reach that high, we start to find some resistance. Price pushes up through a little bit, and then we have two legs attempting to reverse here. So when we come off of a range high, especially as an uptrend is getting played out, you can look to get short on a reversal. We just don't get a clear entry here. We could push lower, get a couple legs back, make a reversal pattern, but here we just push lower and then immediately have a completely bullish bar pushing out of the high again. So that's not ideal for a reversal. Push back lower here, it struggles to get below the EMA, it's closing back above, and then here, that's just entering too low at that point for a stop all the way up there. So unfortunately, you can't enter short there, but we push on up here. As soon as it reaches that measured move, price reverses. Now we push on up, we break out the range again, and then also the overnight high. So you can see, we're breaking out here. Price starts to fade back down. There's one reason to fade because of the overnight high. When price breaks out of the overnight levels, price generally fades back in, but also this range right here. We start pushing lower, price starts reacting to it. If we push lower, we could get a failed second entry that holds below, but this chop right here, making it move to the side, really messed with that due to this uptrend that's forming. It pushed price closer down to those lows. And so by the time we're pushing lower here, we don't have much room to make a good reversal pattern before meeting with this trend line right here. And so we don't get anything there. We just push on lower. As soon as it reaches that trend line, price spikes on up, retests the overnight high again, and then immediately goes into this range. So nothing clear here. Again, if this trend line weren't here, this would be a good place to get a reversal pattern, a failed second entry, looking to get in on that second leg down. Overnight high is clearly holding, so that'd be a great place for it. But you do have to consider this. Price doesn't even end up forming it. It just pushes on through this trend line and then finds a spike right here, making this double bottom, or really a triple bottom from over here. You can see we're clearly forming some support here. We're kind of getting a range that's a little bit higher than this range right here. And so that's what's forming there. This measured move does not get met. As we push higher here, that's when this is extremely clear that we have a bullish imbalance. A bullish imbalance is when you have a range. In this case, we're talking about the overnight range, and price is unable to get back to the low side. It's only wanting to stay in the upper part of the range. That means the bulls control this range, the buyers control this range, and they're keeping prices high. And so when we start pushing up here, not able to reach that measured move, making these higher highs from these highs down here. This is very clearly a bullish imbalance. We have this clear upward slant. The EMA is, it's kind of sideways, but it's still generally moving up throughout the whole day. And so very clear bullish imbalance. Now, as we push up here, we have this triple top. Clearly, it's not perfect swing, at the same exact level, but around the same level. We're clearly retesting the overnight high. That's clearly a triple top. We get a good reaction, bearish reaction. However, you're into that previous trend line, and you don't want to combine that with the bullish imbalance that's forming. And, this trend line right here, this green one, there's all sorts of, the price is looking very bullish right here. So even though we're getting a good bearish reaction off of this overnight high, you don't want to enter short directly into that. So anyway, we push on lower here. We go into this downtrend. We get a break. When a downtrend gets a break, we can expect prices to attempt a new low. Now, what I would have liked to see is price push on lower here. That way we have more room for 2 clear legs up, retesting this range low for a short. But instead, it just fades on back in and then goes straight sideways. So, that's really not ideal for entering any trade when it goes straight sideways like that. Chopping up and down, but, up and down for this, up and down between the overnight, not the overnight low, sorry, this range low right here. I'm always mixing up the terms. If I ever am pointing at a range low and I call it an overnight low, then I just meant range low. So anyway, we push on lower here. Downtrend, break, new low. This downtrend is considered played out at this point because it has a break and a new low. So this is a common reversal area. We're broken out of this range right here. We can expect price to attempt to fade back up. The downtrend is played out, which means it's safe to look for a long. And as you can see, price clearly makes an attempt to reverse there. It just gets held down by this level, clearly not strong enough to push back above. So but that's what I'd be wanting to see here. Again, clear bullish imbalance. As soon as this downtrend plays out, reversal pattern, that'd be absolutely great. Instead, price pushes up and then has a second leg at a new low. So now, as you can see, price has made, you have downtrend, break, first leg lower, second leg lower, and now we might get the reversal after that second leg. So we could still get the reversal pattern higher, a push above, a couple legs back, holding on that range low. So we'll see what happens. We could get something soon. So I'm just drawing this out for a visual here for anyone who's new. So this is a reversal pattern. It might not set up looking exactly like this, following these lines exactly. It could be thinner, it could be, all sorts of different things. But first entry short, second entry short failure. I'd like to see 2 legs back retesting this low right here on top of it because, again, downtrend played out, and this is a common reversal area, which is a fade area. So fading the overnight low, fading this range low right here. So that's what I'd like to see in this area soon. It might not happen. If it doesn't happen, then, price could push down and offer 2 legs retesting on the low side of this range right here, and then get a short. But, we'll see what happens. I'm going to hop over to the NQ now. So that's it for the ES. So this is our overnight high, overnight low. Again, I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here. Now we have this uptrend. You can see there's a little 2-legged break before making 2 legs to a new high. So price action works the same on all levels, small picture, big picture, ES, NQ. It's all the same. You have this uptrend, 2-legged break, and then 2 legs to a new high before making 2 attempts to reverse, stopping at the measured move and going sideways before making another 2-legged move higher. But we'll get into that when we get into it. So starting off here, I started trading at 8. The uptrend just played out, and so now, considering it's played out, price is likely to attempt to reverse. And price does make a reversal pattern here. You can see from this high, we have first entry long, second entry long failure. I don't like how it was holding above the EMA and then barely got back below. It's really just not an ideal reversal pattern. Price was really just holding up this whole time here, which makes sense because the uptrend was playing out, but it was not able to really make a good reversal. As soon as it pushed below, it immediately pushed back above, and then pushed back above again on that second leg, and then was barely closing below. Really just not an ideal reversal. It was getting pretty sideways too, so it just wasn't very clean. I would have liked to see a push below and then 2 clear legs back that have a clear hold below the EMA. This is just not ideal, and then we can draw this right there too. So it's just not perfect. We push on lower though, it does go down, and we reach this measured move, and as soon as this measured move is met, price immediately attempts to reverse. We have this sharp push back up, immediately pushes back down, makes a new low, pushes back up again, clearly going sideways into this little mini range right here, and then we push out this high right here and reach this previous swing. And then after we push down here and have resistance there, that's when this range high is very clearly at this exact level, because we have to put it to that body there, match it with here. We're going sideways right here. So we push lower, we get these two legs down to the other side of this range, and as soon as we reach it, price has a spike back up. The entry is too big to enter on due to the highs of this range being right here, so we cannot enter long directly into that. However, right after we make this higher low, now price doesn't reach this high. If we had reached this high, then that would have been a push off of a key level, which means that we'd need to see two legs down. But we don't have that here, and so we're safe to take a higher low, especially because it is holding off this trend line right here, and we just need a slight limit order to get out before those highs, which was no problem with this trade. So we push on higher here. As soon as price, reaches this high again, it pushes on lower, it spikes through a little bit, but we only needed our target before that high right there. So anyway, we push on lower here off this high, and you can kind of see here that from here, from this high, these two legs turn into one leg on a bigger picture. We have first leg down, and then from here, that's the second leg down before pushing on higher into this next two-legged move up. And so, from here, I almost forgot to mention this here. So from here, we have a clear push up. It's right after this two-legged move. And then after this correction here, this is the start of that second leg up, but it really just stays within this sideways chop action. And so then from here, off this retest, we start a new two-legged move from here. So it looks like a two-legged move from there, but really I view this as a reset, and we start it from there. So anyway, I kind of lost exactly where I was. So yeah, right after here, we push on lower, we reach this low, have a spike up. There's no clear trade on the way down. If we had gotten a second entry long down here, then we could have found a long entry, but it just doesn't happen. We push on out these highs. We have this uptrend, break, fading back in. You can kind of see, we make this lower high, but we still need another attempt for this uptrend right here. So we can't take this short, especially given we're starting to have this upward slant. So I don't like going short there. But we push on lower here. It does end up working, and we have a bounce. Doesn't even reach that trend line right there. Clearly, this bullish imbalance is forming. Well, at this point, I want to mention, because we're not really at the highs so much, but within this overnight range, we're clearly forming this uptrend. We're overall bullish. Price is not wanting to push lower, but it's different than on the ES. So I'm hopping back over to the ES just for a sec. So the bullish imbalance here, we were right at the overnight high. Everything was in the complete top section of this range. In this case here, we are right at the middle of the range. Everything is just slanted up, more bullish. So it's not as clear of a bullish imbalance, but you still want to be careful because everything is generally in this uptrend right here. You definitely want to be careful of going short into this kind of support. But I just wanted to mention it's bullish, but it's not the same as the other bullish imbalance from the ES. And I just want to quickly mention, because I know this can confuse people, the ES and the NQ, yeah, they do follow each other, and oftentimes the charts will look strikingly similar, and when one starts cranking higher, the other one will too. But overall, their contexts are different. For instance, on the ES here, a lot of these moves were pushing off of the overnight high, which is a major key level here. But on here, it was not pushing off the overnight high. It was generally pushing higher. And so, from the low here. And so, the contexts were different. And here we're coming off the lows. It's going into this range. It's going into a range on here too. So they look similar because they're both generally sideways. But one's trying to push off the overnight high. And then on the NQ, it's not. So the contexts are still different. But yes, they do often just, they'll follow each other in price. But just because, one market looks good to say go long does not mean you necessarily want to immediately enter on the other one, because, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I just wouldn't advise to trade one market based off of another. Just trade the one market you're looking at with its own price action. So anyway, where was I? I kind of lost where I was going off on that. So, yeah, so sorry y'all, I literally forgot where I was. I think it was around here, so I didn't like that lower high, as I explained. It was too bullish. And so we go into this little downtrend, and then price breaks, and then it pushes past this high, making this clear two-legged move higher here. So two-legged move pushing out of this range right here. Price starts to fade back in. I would want to see a clear reversal pattern with room to this upper trend line. This is just too thin of a lower high for me to take. But we push on lower here. It reaches this low. It pushes past this trend line right here, and then 1, 2, 3, clearly forming some support right here. It's, matching with this previous support, but, clearly it's a little bit higher here, and we push up, have this push down, and what you have here is downtrend, break, and then first attempt lower, and we push on up. There's a chance that it could act as a two-legged break and make, try to attempt a new low from here, but it ends up pushing on through. You can clearly see right where that measured move was. There was some resistance. So two legs up, two-legged break from this downtrend. Great place to, or in the context here, it's not so great, but generally, when you have a two-legged break, you look to make a new low. And so price could start to do that. You would just need room to this trend line right here. But in this case here, it just spikes on through, makes this triple top up here, and then starts pushing lower. Now again, even though it's continually showing to be bullish, if you have room on a good reversal pattern, you can still take a short here. It just doesn't happen. It just pushes on lower, goes past this trend line, and then continues to, hold off of this range low right here. So we push up here. We have downtrend, break. When a downtrend gets a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new low. We have this two-legged break with a good reaction to the EMA, but it is right into that trend line, so I did not like taking it. And then very quickly after, it just got completely sideways and choppy. However, it does push down to a new low, so the downtrend has a break, push to a new low. It is considered played out. This is a good place for a reversal pattern. Now, considering everything's been rather bullish this whole time, what I'd like to see is a spike back into this range right here, and then get two attempts down, retesting off on top of the high of this low, and then you can look for a long. So let me just draw this out here. What I'd like to see is, after a fade, two clear attempts to reverse, forming a failed second entry, first entry short, second entry short, failure. Holding off this range low, that would be great, considering everything's been bullish this whole time. There's clear support here. It's a common reversal area being a fade. However, we do have to consider that there's definitely a chance for price to make a second leg at a new low. This measured move right here is still in play, and we only have, after the downtrend break, one clear leg at a new low. Price could easily hold off right here, like it's starting to look like it's doing, and make a second leg down. From here, this measured move, as far as the two-legged move goes to the new low, matches with the larger measured move for the overall two legs down. So, and that's very common, that a downtrend will have a break, first leg at a new low, and then the start of that second leg, the measured move will match with the larger measured move. You see what I'm saying? So that's very common. Either way, I'd like to see a reversal pattern higher here. Clear failed second entry, holding off this low to make a, to reverse from this downtrend playing out and continue with this, this range right here. So we'll see what happens. That's going to do it for this video. I really hope it helped out, and thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.